Hi, this is TPS Reports Conglomerate here, and we're going to show you a demo of our Java semester project. Our group is made up of Tuck on the left, Wes in the back, Tyler in the middle, Mark to the right, and Corey in the front. Wes is going to tell us a little bit more about data flow diagrams.
Here's our data flow diagram that walks you through the beginning and the end of the registration process. It includes all the front-end validation as well as the lines of communication from the front end to the back end. This is our payment process. Like the registration DFD, this also goes from the beginning to the end of the payment process, including all of the front-end validation as well as the database writing.
Thank you, Wes. Now we're going to let Tuck tell us a little bit about ERDs.
This is our ERD diagram. It consists of three tables. First is the user table, which is our parent table. It has a user ID, first name, last name, street address, zip, city, state, and so on. It connects to our credit card registration table. The credit card registration table has a credit card number, which is our primary key, credit card type, bank carrier, CVV, expiration date, and so on. The user table also connects to our transaction table by the user ID, and then the table primary key is the transactions ID, the transaction date, and the transaction amount.
Thanks, Tuck. All right, Corey, what do you know about JSF?
Well, what we use to construct our graphic user interface right here is what you see is the JSF in NetBeans. We use the XT file to construct it, and this is what the user will input. Once they input everything, the validations will occur, and then we'll take you to the registration. After that, the payment, and then you will be completed, and it will add the data into our database.
All right, good deal. Last, Mark, tell us about the class diagram.
Thank you, Tyler. The class diagram, which consists of the cardholder, credit card, and transaction. And each table has its own attributes. For example, transaction has payment date, payment amount, and cardholder has first name, last name, etc. And credit card has the card number, the card type, expiration date, and etc.
All right, thank you, Mark, and that concludes our PowerPoint. Now let's take a look at the live demo. Hello everyone, and thank you for watching. Today we will take a look at our Java project demo. Let's start with the registration process. As you can see, we've used a Java web application in NetBeans with elements such as input text boxes, output labels, and list boxes to create an interface for our user to register a credit card. We've also included front-end validation to alert the user when required fields are left empty. The registration process uses the project JDBC layer to communicate with the PHP MyAdmin database. As you can see here, our database is currently empty, so we are going to attempt to populate it with some registration information. Now let's run the registration project. Now we're looking at the registration page. If a user tries to register a credit card without entering any information, they will receive the front-end validation alerts in red. Once all of the required fields are filled out accordingly, the registration button will dismiss the front-end validation alerts and send the data to the database to populate the user and credit card registration tables. Now if we take a look at our PHP MyAdmin database, you can see that the user and credit card registration tables have been populated successfully with the registration information. Now let's take a look at the payment process. As you can see here, we've used another Java web application in NetBeans to create a separate interface for our user to process a credit card payment. We included front-end validation similar to the registration process that will alert the user when the required fields are left blank. The payment process uses the JDBC layer to communicate with the database and verifies that the input data matches the data stored in the database. Back-end validation is in place to alert the user when they have filled out a field incorrectly. Now let's run the payment project. Now we're at the payment page. If a user tries to submit a payment without entering any information, they will receive the front-end validation alerts in red. If we refer to our database, you can see that there is a registered cardholder on file. However, the transaction table is empty. So we will try to populate the transaction table with some payment information. Now let's go back to the payment page and see how the back-end validation works. Here we are back at the payment page, but to save us some time, I've already filled out some of the details. Now, if a user tries to submit a payment using incorrect information, back-end validation will kick in and they will receive an alert as to what information is correct. If more than one entry is incorrect, the alerts will continue to show, so on and so forth, until all the information matches that which is stored in the database. Once the user enters all the correct information and clicks the Pay button, the system will alert them that their transaction is successful. Now, if we go into the database, you can see the transaction has populated in the table and our data has been stored successfully. This does conclude our demo. Thank you for watching and we hope you enjoyed our video.